Welcome to the Memories of Past tutorial podcast.
That was Kolaka, and this is me, Takuza.
We'll be covering a range of issues from connecting, making a character and getting in game through these voiced videos.
In this video, we will be covering Create a Character. Part 1, Selecting a Race.
Although we've not changed too much of the character creation screen, there are some notable differences.
We've renamed all of the 10 core classes and gave them their own unique icons, alongside some information at the right hand side. You may also notice there are some differences to the user interface and our own composed music.
Although we've retained the feel of the character customization screen and chose not to defer it too much from the original, there are some substantial changes. First of all, we'll go through the 8 allowed races and explain their role in the world.
After that, we'll explain the 10 core classes and their involvement in how the world changes.
But that comes in part 2. First up are the humans.
Since the Second War, much of the human kingdoms have kept to themselves and political tensions have grown between all the nations. Although King Tyrannus II remains in control of the throne of Lordaeron, therefore controlling the Grand Alliance as a whole, his power over the other 6 nations is weakening.
The Kingdom of Dalaran remains linked with the Alliance, and are a supplier of goods and battle mages that represent the Kirin Tor under the rule of Archmage Antonidas. Alongside them, the Kingdom of Kultiris is the prime naval force of the Alliance, although due to the Grand Tempest, their nation's trade and travel routes have since been severed, but it won't be long until adventurers and travellers alike will be able to visit the island's ports.
Meanwhile, the nations of Gilneas and Strom are beginning to take their bow from the Grand Alliance, following in the footsteps of the Kingdom of Quel'Thalas. With Strom angered at Tyrannus' decision to lock up the orcs rather than execute them, their leader, Faras Trollbane, has resigned from the Alliance and has left to lead the Stormguard into their own faction. Meanwhile, Gilneas, unwilling to work with the Alliance, has begun construction on the Greymane Wall and has denied travel within his realm.
Azeroth, however, remains a southern bastion for the Grand Alliance and has been rebuilt from the decimation it suffered during the First War. The Stonemasons Guild are finishing off the final touches to areas such as the Keep of Stormwind, and new Stormwind is yet to be unveiled.
As this happens, however, the nation of Alterac is trying to recuperate after their treacherous king, Lord Perinold, was executed for allying himself with the Horde. Although the lands were given for Lord Davil Prestor to reside over, he has since gone missing, and it is up to the court of nobles left over from the days of Aladin Perinold to compete to take the grand influence over the realm.
There is, however, a final kingdom that's all been eradicated. Once maritime merchants, pirates and marines, these shipwrecked men and women have lived out their lives on the deserts of Teneris, and have, over the past millennia, forged the Waste Wanderers Annex, a grueling empire based on thievery and barbarian conquest. However, the humans are not the sole proprietors of politics, and the dwarves are beginning to feel the tensions of a rekindling war. As the Dark Horde conquests against the enslaved Dark Iron clan, there is an ever-looming threat of fallout that could splash upon the Bronzebeard and Wildhammer clans. However, members of the server can join the War of the Three Hammers upon either side, as Bronzebeard, Wildhammer, or Dark Iron.
Meanwhile, the enigmatic gnomes of Gnomrigon are safe and well within their steampunk metropolis, and are finding life simple and easy, until now. As the High Tinker Mechatork leaves to construct the Deep Run tram, his subordinate, Sickle Thermaplug, is left in charge of Gnomrigon's affairs until the Tinker's return. For the first time in the historic foundation of the gnomes, treason is coming.
As we've briefly mentioned before, the Kingdom of Quel'Thalas, having paid their debts to a Trollbane bloodline, have since removed themselves from the affairs of the humans, whilst many of their kind, rooted within their homes and studies, have decided to keep within the realm. Most hurtful to King Anasterian Sunstrider is the withdrawal of his son, Prince Kel'Thas, who has remained in Dalaran, rather than returning home to where he truly belongs.
Although the Night Elves are not yet a member of the Alliance, there will be a chance to see them from their perspective, and upon the release of Darnassus, the cryptic Kaldori will appear for the first time. As the peacetime of the Kaldori continues onwards, the wilderness is caught under a grip of a nefarious evil looming and waiting in the darkness.
Onwards to the Horde. The shattered clans are all that remains of the Dark Horde, and players will be able to join any of the remaining clans, be it in the wilds or locked within the internment camps. Durnhold Keep, the most prominent, is where their saviour, Thrall, son of Durotan, awaits.
Yet the Black Rocks, the Dragon Maw, and so much more are available, all to be reunited in some cases under the same flying banner. Warchief Grom Hellscream of the Warsong clan has eluded capture for quite some time, and it isn't long until he marks his return.
Meanwhile, the Troll tribes remain splintered, although a majoritarian force under rule of Zul'jin has battled against Silvermoon Rangers from the pinnacle of Zulaman. Although the battle within the Blackened Woods is a momentarily stalemate, it is unsure what could turn the tables and win the war.
Last of all, the mighty Tauren. These beings continue to roam the plains of the Barrens, ever transient, faced against the rage of the Centaur. Their conflicts against the Centaur have threatened their existence. Yet there is a grueling hope, as their farseers foretell of a coming saviour from the bowels of slavehood, coming to rescue them from their peril.
This is the first of many videos we hope to release about creating a character. Part 2 will cover the classes and the information behind them.
Thank you for watching.